welcome to the Northern Counties East League podcast. I'm Richard Watts. I'm now joined by League General Manager Matt Jones.
Okay, hello and welcome to the official podcast of the Northern Counties East Football League. We're now rapidly approaching the end of the season with just 7 Saturdays remaining in the Premier Division schedule and 8 in Division 1 before the regular season comes to an end, and we look forward to the playoffs and the final of the JCP Construction Northern Counties East League Cup. The battle for promotion and relegation is certainly heating up. It's very, very interesting in both divisions, and the league tables seem to be constantly changing. We talked one week about a team going in the playoff positions. Next week, it's somebody else. It's really, really exciting end to the season in prospect. In the Premier Division, Silsden remain 10 points clear at the top, despite stuttering a little in recent weeks and drawing their last 3 matches. Despite these draws, Silsden are now 20 league games unbeaten overall. Can anybody stop them clinching the Premier Division title and earning promotion to the Northern Premier League? Hallam are up to second in the table, and what a statement they made on Saturday, demolishing fellow playoff contenders Beverley Town 7-0 in front of another excellent crowd of exactly 500. That's 6 straight wins for Hallam in the league, and they've hit a rich vein of form at just the right time. Galkey United dropped to third after their game against Fickley was postponed at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon with both teams ready. Thackley remain in the playoff positions despite a 2-0 home loss to Pickering Town. It continues to look bleak for Goole and Winterton Rangers in the relegation places. Goole's recent improvement continued as the Vikings picked up a point in a 0-0 draw with Eccleshill United to move level on points with Winterton on 17, and that's 4 games unbeaten for Goole in the league. Winterton themselves were beaten 1-0 in the Lincolnshire Derby at home to Bottisford Town, with the winner coming in the very last minute, scored by Jonathan Niantu. With games running out, the bottom 2 are now 12 points adrift of third from bottom Frickley Athletic. Although Goole have shown improved form in recent weeks, the same cannot be said for Winterton, who are now 13 games without a win and have suffered 7 straight defeats in the league. In the last 11 league matches, they've scored only 2 goals, conceding 23 in the same time. In Division 1, I was at Brigg Town on a bitterly cold, wintry afternoon as the playoff chasing Zebras drew 1-1 with leaders Horbury Town, a result that I think was a fair reflection of the overall match. 2 really, really good sides in action. Horbury's lead at the top has been reduced to 8 points in recent weeks after their draw at Brigg. Second place Wombwell took advantage, winning 2-0 at Selby Town. After looking uncatchable just a few weeks ago, all of a sudden it's getting a bit more exciting at the top as Wombwell are now 8 points behind the leaders, but with 3 games in hand. So maybe the title race in that one isn't done and dusted as it appeared. Wakefield kept up their chase for at least a playoff spot, picking up another point in a 0-0 draw at Shelley. Worsborough Bridge remained 5th after a 4-0 win at Nostell Miners Welfare. The chasing pack of Durham District, Ilkley Town, South Leeds, and even going down to 9th place Selby will still all have hopes of making the playoffs, with Durham District emphatically beating Glasshout and Welfare 7-1 at the weekend. On to this weekend, we have 1 game in the Premier Division on Friday night as Campion play Tadcaster Albion. On Saturday, the remaining 40 teams are all in action with 9 games in the Premier Division and 11 matches in Division 1. Thank you as always to everybody for the fantastic support you give our clubs.
Welcome to Seasons Past with Libby Edwards. In this episode, I'm looking back to the 2016-2017 season. The Premier Division contained 18 teams from the previous season, plus 4 new clubs. Promoted from Division 1, AFC Mansfield, Bottisford Town and Hemsworth Miners Welfare. Relegated from the Northern Premier League, Harrogate Railway Athletic. The league was won by Cleethorpes Town, who won 35 and drew 3 of their 42 games, finishing with 108 points. Pickering Town finished second. They won 30 and drew 7, finishing on 97 points. In third place was Bridlington Town, who finished on 88 points. Retford United finished bottom. Second bottom were Armthorpe Welfare, and third bottom Barton Town. Newcomers to Division 1 were relegated: Brigg Town, Nostell Miners Welfare, and Pontefract Collieries. Promoted from feeder leagues were Campion and Ollerton Town. The league was won by Hall Road Rangers. They finished on 96 points, with 30 wins and 6 draws. Runners-up were Pontefract Collieries. They won 30 and drew 5, finishing on 95 points. In third place was AFC Emley, who also finished on 95 points. In the 22-team First Division, Nostell Miners Welfare finished bottom. Worksop Town had the biggest home win during the season. 13-0 against Retford United. The biggest away win was 7-0. Barton Town at Retford, Handsworth at Harrogate Railway, and Pickering Town at Barton. The League Cup was won by Penistone Church, who beat Bridlington Town 4-1 in the final at Brummel Lane. Beaten semi-finalists were AFC Emley and Glasshouse Town Welfare. In the FA Cup, AFC Mansfield and Handsworth made it to the third qualifying round. In that round, Mansfield lost 2-1 at home to Stamford, and Handsworth lost 3-1 at Lincoln United. During the competition, Mansfield beat, amongst others, Coville Town and Stratford. Handsworth's run included beating Stocksbridge Park Steels and Burrs Co. In the FA Vase, Cleethorpes Town made it all the way to the final at Wembley. They lost 4-0 to South Shields in the game. In the semi-finals, they beat Bromsgrove 2-1 on aggregate. Cleethorpes beat AFC Emley, Bootle, Billingham Town, Atherton Collieries and Southall on their way to that semi-final.
Next up, NCEL talk. I'll hand straight over to host Aaron Walton.
Evening, everybody. So we're back for another NCEL talk, and we've got a full house again. We've got Jordan, Bob, Adam, Si, and myself, Aaron. So
Good evening.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Let's. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's dive straight in and look at last week's games and how it shapes the division, both top and bottom. So let's start with the. I'm going to start with the relegation battle in the Prem. A must-win game for Gull, Bob. No victory, but a point on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a point, but we really needed at this stage of the season, we really need the 3 points. But Eccleshill came and played a good game. It was a scrappy game, quite a few chances, but both defences played well. We kept our second clean sheet of the season, which was something, but we could have done with that odd goal, that 1-0 win to give us the 3 points. But when the final whistle went Saturday, that put us 4 games unbeaten. But I say it was a cold, grey day, scrappy game, few chances. Well, I think really maybe a draw was a fair result. But then, so we march on. With 9 games to go now, and we're fighting for every point that we can get. Going forward.
Definitely. So that was Saturday's game for Gull. If we also look at your other bedfellows, if we can say it, Winterton Rangers, well, if they had some luck, they'd have no luck at all, wouldn't they?
You're right.
Injury time winner again. They lose to, don't they? Bottisford. Yeah. As I say, another last gasp winner. So it's looking grim for Winterton, and I do feel for them.
Yeah, it's one of the worst ways to win, it when you 0-0 of the team score. Great for Bottisford. Don't get me wrong, but for the other team, it's a sinking feeling, isn't it?
It is. We've all been on.
Excuse the pun, but it's a sinking feeling.
It is. We've all been on the end of them, haven't we, Bob? So
we have. Yeah.
It's nice when you get them, but it's not very nice when you're on the end. So Tadcaster, they've eased their worries, haven't they, about being dragged into a relegation scrap with a 1-0 win over Rossington. That's 3 narrow defeats for Rossington, but I think they're safe, don't you, Adam?
Yeah, I think it's kind of been just a simple mid-table season. Like, not really pushed for playoffs, but not really been in danger either. It's been, like I say, a lot of changes at Rosso, so it's kind of been a bit of a rebuilding year. We'll see how we do next season.
Definitely. I think they'll probably be looking to rebuild for next season. That's the old cliche that they're using, isn't it? So we're certainly using that at Barton. But at the top then, Silsden, they got a point, didn't they? Knaresborough, I believe. I usually look at my notes and my notes are all wrong, but pray tell me if they're wrong. I know Knaresborough is a very difficult place to go. As I've said on many occasions, I don't know if, Bob, you've been. Have you been to Knaresborough, Adam?
No, it's one of the ones I've still got to do, hopefully.
It's well worth a visit, sir. Hospitality is very good. The crowd are slightly partisan, but that's what you expect. But the people that run it at Knaresborough are really good football people. So, a good place to go. Hallam, wow, with a capital W. 7-0. Superb. Against Beverley Town. I mean,
who would have thought that before they kicked off?
I know. Yeah, that makes our result look a bit better against Hallam last week, 6-1. But wow, they're really on fire out. The Rio Allen again with a hat trick. I mean, the form Hallam are on. I mean, the form guys. I don't know if you agree with me, but the form Hallam are on won't surprise me if that 10-point or whatever point gap it is with Silsden gets closed even more.
I'm going to say with Silsden, there's been a few times where they've dropped points in the last few weeks. I mean, we'll come on to Tuesday in a bit, but they're not losing many, but they're getting a few draws in there. So, like I say, with the amount of wins Hallam are getting, they can soon catch back up if they're not careful.
Definitely. So that's Hallam. Pickering Town superb form continued. Going to the Dennyfield at Thackley and coming away with a 2-0 victory. Can Pickering, can they muscle their way into the playoffs? Don't write them off. I think they're possibly a long shot, isn't it?
7 points a minute, and they've played a fair few games more. But
they have, haven't they? Yeah. But Albion back on it with a solid 3-1 away win at Penistone. So still in the thick of it for Albion. Penistone falling away a bit, aren't they? However, you can't really write them off. Campion, they're down in 8th. They did all right. Although they lost out by the odd goal at Oliver's Mount to Handsworth, didn't they? 4-3. Scott Ruffman with a couple for the Ambers, who move up to 9th. I mean, the Handsworth have been there or thereabouts in that top 10, I think, all season. So I would say that's a pretty good season for Handsworth. And finally, it was surprisingly my first trip to the Roundwood Sports Complex, Parkgate, to see an entertaining game against Barton Town. Parkgate and Barton. Barton run out 3-1 winners, but the game I felt was a lot closer than a 3-1. Both teams playing some lovely football. Parkgate just couldn't finish. It was as simple as that. They just couldn't finish. Barton did. Parkgate got a goal. We got 3. And I think that was the only slight difference between the teams. As I say, Barton could finish. Parkgate just couldn't finish. So into Division 1. Game of the day. Jordan, over to you. Brigg versus Horbury.
Yeah, similar situation to the previous Tuesday night against Bunwell. We feel we had a much better first half, albeit we did actually score in the first half this time. Couple of chances, big chances at that to make it 2-3. Then had a decent chance at the beginning of the second half, and then Brigg went down the other end. Bit of a mistake at the back, left the goal completely open just for a tap in from about 20 yards out. Got them back into the game. We've tried to push on for a winner, made a few changes, changed formation, just try and get that second goal. We didn't get that, and we had to sustain a little bit of pressure in the final 10-15 minutes. And yeah, probably a point that we would have taken before the game, albeit we need the wins as much as the other two teams below us at the moment. But yeah, we'll take a point and then move on to Saturday's fixture.
Exactly. Is it first trip to Brigg?
No, I've been before. We got beat 1-0. I think we've been 3 times. We've conceded in the last minute the first season, got beat 2-1. We drew 1-1. We lost 1-0 last year, sorry, and drew 1-1 this time. So
it's a tough place to go, and the pitch isn't in the best of condition, is it? I think they're getting a 4G or a 5G pitch.
yeah, I think the guy called Mark Morris, he did a fundraising event beforehand. He ran around the pitch for 12 hours.
Wow.
I
He
think
wasn't
he ended
running
up
around while
doing.
the game was on, was he?
No, he started at 2 a.m. and finished at 2 p.m., I think.
Wow. Well,
So we just about finished when we were just about to go out and warm up.
brilliant.
I think he did like 56 miles around the pitch.
Wow.
Which is some effort. I know I'm a runner myself, but I couldn't do 56 miles around a pitch. Not a chance.
No, I couldn't. No, my cartilage was have fallen out. So that's superb running, Mark. Well done from all of us here. So we go on to Woolwell Town keeping the pressure on with a strong 2-0 away win at Selby. 217 there, good crowd. Wakefield, Si, keeping up the pace.
Yeah, I wasn't at our games this week, but sort of reading from what I've seen from people I've commented on our socials and stuff, a good point for Shelley is that one. You know, they battled, and that's what happens at this level. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can look at the teams at the top and think you should be beating the teams further down, but anyone can take points away from anyone if they play to their day. It's just about who's most consistent, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those days where we couldn't get it in the net, and Shelley defended very well.
How many games unbeaten now for Wakefield?
Well, given the one that we obviously will come on to, that'll make it 17 from memory.
That is a hell of a run, isn't it?
16 or 17.
Wow, that's a superb run, and I think your manager must be absolutely pleased with that.
Yeah, well, since he came in, we went out of the League Cup and the Vars, but that's the only defeats that he's had so far. So yeah, it can't be too bad coming in and then being unbeaten for a while.
Exactly, good manager at this level, knows his stuff, doesn't he? So that's Wakefield, and again, some games in the midweek that you've just intimated. So I will come on to that. Durham District, well, they certainly give Glasnowton a thumping, 7-1. Jamie Austin bagging 4 goals there, and the team having an awesome season. Worsborough Bridge hitting 4 past Nostell away. Keelan Grist on fire with a hat-trick there. So Worsborough, or Worsborough, you say Worsborough, we say Worsborough. They're going really well. So we'll look at the bottom. A massive win for Appleby Frodingham. Where's that come from? Beating Maltby Main 3-1. Lifting them off the bottom with Yorkshire Amateurs losing 3-1 away at Dronfield. Who really needed a win, didn't the Dronfield?
Big win for Dronfield back because we're getting sucked into it. But give us a bit of breathing room, but still easy to get back dragged down.
Yeah, they're still not out of trouble, but that'll do the confidence a world of good. Louth Town. We've talked about Louth. Their form continues with a good 2-0 away win at Armthorpe. So it's always good to go, especially what Armthorpe did in midweek. So that's really good win for Louth Town. Other games, Athersley lost by the odd goal to Ilkley 3-2. Club Thorn beat Harrogate by the same score. And South Leeds lost to Swallownest 3-2. So Swallownest doing themselves a power of good there. Again, a great result for Swallownest. That's 2 wins now in the last 2 games. So has their form finally come? So that was the Saturday. That was busy. On to a very important and busy midweek with action at both top and bottom, wasn't it? So it all started on Monday night with Albion entertaining Goole. Bob?
Yeah,
Tight
well,
game.
it was a tight game, but it was getting there in the first place because Albion kick off at 8 o'clock, and then there was a bad accident on the motorway, so we had to delay the kick-off till 8:15.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because some of the groups, obviously, even some of their staff had got, the Albion committee was stuck in traffic. Anyhow, we kicked off at 8:15.
Yeah.
It was what you could call a feisty game, definitely for that. But Albion went ahead after early in the first half after about 15 minutes. Then we equalised in the start of the second half through Shane Moore ahead after 47 minutes. And then Albion retook the lead after 57 minutes. So it's 2-1 to them at that time. Then we was awarded a penalty, which unfortunately we missed it because the keeper saved it. And then towards the end, we was wanted another penalty, handball in the area. The referee gave it, but he consulted his assistant referee, who says it was outside the box. We thought it was on the line, and then so he changed his mind. So he gave us a free kick instead.
Oh God!
You can imagine the players didn't. It didn't go down with the players and supporters because we thought it was a definite penalty, but obviously the assistant referee thought differently.
All right.
There was, I think, 7 bookings, 1 to us, 6 to Albion. So we certainly gave them a good game. We rattled them, and they probably thought, well, go playing like this. But we had quite a few changes because of sickness and injuries. So we had 4 changes from the Saturday game. But every player that went out there, they put a shift in. We only had 2 subs on the night, so that sort of limited us a bit as well. But yeah, we'll give a good account of ourselves. We were very disappointed to come away with a defeat, though. We thought we deserved the point. But sometimes you don't get what you deserve in football.
Certainly does. That's your first defeat this season, Bob. This year.
First defeat this year. Yeah. But
so,
that's how it goes. But I say it was a very bitterly disappointing that the referee changed his mind after consulting the. So we thought we were robbed.
Robbed,
really.
Yeah, with a capital R, yeah. So that was Gould and Albion. Good account of yourselves there, though. Seems very unlucky. That's what happens when you're down there, Bob.
Yeah, but the crowd was 55, and there was about 25 from Gould. It's not good for Albion supporters. So unless they got caught in traffic, I don't know. But it's poor gate that.
They never get. I don't know what it is because it's a great facility there. I just don't know what they can do to get more people to come and watch. But that's by the by. So Tuesday in the Prem, Barton Town going down 2-0 to Thackley at home. Oh dear, I think that's the 4th game Barton have lost at home. Their away form is slightly better than the home form. Even first half, both teams looking to play. Thackley taking the chances in the second half. They look good, they look slick, they look quick. Barton couldn't really sort of get out of second gear in the second half, but I was impressed with Thackley, I must admit. I know they've lost a few games just recently, but I was impressed with them, Thackley. So good to see Thackley win. Unfortunately, my team Barton lost. Golka, back on the horse again, aren't they? Putting 4 past Parkgate, 4-1. A George Doyle hat-trick. Callum Petch adding 1 in as well. And it was nice to see young Jack Humphreys scoring his first goal for Parkgate because I think Jack's only about 17. He's a very good prospect, is Jack. Knaresborough beating Winton, so they've done you a favour, Bob, of Knaresborough.
Yes. It's a tough place to go, isn't Knaresborough?
Absolutely, especially midweek. So they beat Winton 2-0. And Silsden, as Adam intimated earlier on, drawing 2-2 at home to Rossington. So that was a good point for Rossington, Adam, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good point, especially coming from 2-0 down as well. I were in Morecambe on the Tuesday, so I kind of keeping an eye on results, and I saw it was 2-2 after 38 minutes. I thought, wow, that looks a pretty good game. But needed point for Rosso as well because, like I said, lost a few games in a row, so especially coming from 2-0 down, just gives them a bit of confidence.
I think so. Yeah. We've got to play Rossington. Barton have got to play Rossington at home soon, so that'll be a good game. Big match in Division 1. So Brig at home to Wakefield. Good crowd. Si.
Another good win, yeah. Especially since we had Killen Swills getting 2 goals on his debut. Romario Dunn, that was only his 2nd game for us as well because we've had some injuries, so we brought some other players in. And from what I can tell, turned out to be a bit of a feisty end to the game as well.
Certainly was.
Yeah, maybe Brig didn't like the scoreline or something, but
possibly
yeah,
not.
There was a few red cards banded around there.
3 in the end, I think, wasn't there?
And was it the manager? It doesn't show it obviously on the NCEL website, but I'm sure I read somewhere that the manager had got.
Brett had got red carded. I think he booted the ball onto the pitch.
Oh, of course, he's player manager, isn't he?
Yeah. Started up top.
Yeah. I don't know if he'd gone off, but then I think he booted the ball on the pitch. Obviously frustration, I think, because Brig had been good.
Must be some of the teams doing that against us, because it was Selby that did that against us early in the season and got
Oh,
red
they
cards for it
did.
as well. At the end of the game, they did it about 2 or 3 times. Did Selby? So yeah, maybe,
Yeah.
that's the new thing in the NCL. We just let boot balls onto the pitch if you don't like what's going on.
If you don't like
Seems a strange
Wakefield,
one.
yeah, if you don't like Wakey, boot a ball onto the pitch.
Yeah, but it's going to be an interesting end to see, because it's Brig that we played for the last game of the season as well.
Wow,
So
at your
as
place.
difficult a game as that is, that's going to add like an extra little bit of spice to the end of the season.
Certainly is.
I think we said obviously last week, looking at this from from Horbury and from Wakefield, Briggs going to have a big week
Mm.
just to see if they can get back in the hunt. I think with only taking 1 point from both games, I think Briggs probably going to be looking at the playoffs. I'd say now, wouldn't I? Because
Yeah.
everyone's got games in hand above them.
Well,
But
they've got experience of the playoffs. I think a couple of seasons ago they lost out to Harrogate Rail, who went on to play North Ferriby and lost out to North Ferriby. So they've got Brig have got that sort of experience of going through the playoffs. But it's going to be a tough one, and it's going to be an interesting one. So, but Wakefield on the form, is it that 15 unbeaten, 16, 17?
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure it's 7. My mind's saying it's 17.
I think it's
I think
17. Yeah. We've lost count. Rather envious. Armthorpe had a really good win over High Flying Worsborough Bridge 2-1. That's what a super win for Armthorpe, that, because Worsborough have had a brilliant season, haven't they? To be fair. Dronfield drew with Shelley, so Dronfield's good form carries on. Harrogate Rail beat Nostell 3-2. Nostell are really struggling at the moment, aren't they? And Swallownest got a good win over Club Thorn 3-0. So Swallownest are putting it together a bit. Bob, before you say anything, won well, didn't they? They lost out to higher opposition, Stocksbridge Park Steels, in the Sheffield and Hallamshire Senior Cup quarterfinals. Was it 4-1 in the end?
4-1, yeah, 4-1.
Yeah.
I think Jordan called that one last week as well, because he said about Woolwell focusing on the league. I think, didn't you, Jordan?
Yeah, I think they made 3 or 4 changes from the team that played us the previous week. I think they even put on the socials, just let's concentrate on the league and the event of it as well. So,
well, they made a fist of it because they were 3-0 down at half time, and it was only 4-1 in the end. So obviously, either Stocksbridge have taken the foot off the gas, or Woolwell started to play a bit. 1-1 in the second half, so not too bad. Wednesday.
Yeah. I'll see they're in the next round, Stockbridge, away to Hallam. So
I know, I've seen that. Yeah.
That'd be a good crowd, good game.
Won't it just? Another sort of Sheffieldish derby. Wednesday then, Eccleshill eased the fears, didn't they, by putting a really good, strong win in against the informed Pickering Town 2-1. So that's a good win for Eccleshill. I think Ecky have sort of pulled themselves away, haven't they, really, now?
Yeah, I think they have.
33 points. So I think it's down to 3 now, Bob, don't you?
I do. 2 from 3.
2 from 3, and I think you called that last week. So, yeah. And then in Division 1, we finish up with South Leeds losing to Durnan District 3-1. So, Durnan District are having a really good first season. So if we...
South Leeds are dropping off a bit as well, aren't they? Because they were pushing for playoffs earlier.
Yeah.
I think they've won 1 in the last 7, because we're playing them at weekend, and I was doing my preview for that earlier, and I've looked, and it's like that makes it 1 in 7 now, I think.
Wow.
1 win in 7. So to say how well they were doing earlier in the season, they've had a bit of a drop-off lately.
They have. I don't know whether they've had a change of players or...
Found it interesting as well, because after on the full-time post on X yesterday, they basically said we're saying it's not good enough from the players, so the players need to sort themselves out. So,
heck,
interesting. The club coming out with that.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Usually you say that behind closed doors, not on social media, don't you?
Yeah.
So, that'll ruffled a few feathers, should we say? So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll look at the tables. So I've got the Prem in front of me. Top Silsden, 29 games, 65 points. Golka second, 29 games, 56 points. So still that 9-point gap. Thackley, 31 games, 55 points. Hallam, 29 games, 54 points. And Albion, 28 games and 53 points. So that's your top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you've got Beverley, Pickering, and Campion just outside, haven't you? Beverley 30 games, 52 points. Pickering, I think they've maybe just played too many games, haven't they? 31 points, 31 games, 46 points. And Campion, I think they're the ones that maybe put a fly in the ointment. 27 games, 44 points. So they could be the one that maybe just goes under the radar somewhat. I don't know. So that's your top. Your bottom, unfortunately, we have to go to the bottom. Gould, 29 games, 17 points. Every game now is a cup final. Rangers, Winton Rangers, 30 games, 17 points. Frickley, 30 games and 29 points. And Eccleshill, I think they've sort of eased it a bit. They've got 2 games in hand, 28 games, 33 points. It's Tadcaster above them, obviously, on 30 games and 34 points. So we think it's maybe, 2 from 3 there, guys?
Yeah, I'd say that, Aaron, definitely.
So, but you've got to play. Oh, you got to play. You've got to play Frickley, haven't you? That's the big one. We'll come to that.
And we've got to play Winterton at home as well.
Wow. So there's your 6 points you could take, isn't it? So
could, yeah.
So that's the. So if we go, that's the Prem. If we have a look at, I haven't got it in front of me. I've got a blank page. I don't know why. Has somebody got the Div
Division 1? Yeah. I've got Albury 33, 75 points, top. Wombwell second, 30 with 67. Wakey 29 with 63. Rig 32 with 60. Durnan District 30, 58. Worsborough 31, 56. So it's all Albury is still eight points in front still, so it's still a good. I mean, they've got the points on the board, so I think Jordan will be happy with that.
So yeah, definitely. Obviously, I think it's I don't know off the top of my head, but it's the first time in probably a couple of months that it's fallen out of our hands now.
Yeah.
So obviously, I've got 3 games in hand and they're only 8 behind. I think the saving grace between having Wombwell and Wakey below us is they both got to play each other still, so both teams can't pick up 3 points in that fixture. So yeah, Wakey, if they win all their games in hand, they go level on points with us. But yeah, points on the board. I think they've both got Saturday Tuesdays now until the end of March, so busy period for them. Whereas we've only got 1 Tuesday night fixture, which is this upcoming Tuesday, and then we're done for midweek. So we've just got Saturdays to focus on.
Yeah,
so
that could be the difference. Then if we go to the book. Sorry,
Si, what do you think Wakey can do it?
It's so close with all 3. I do think we can do it, but at the end of the day, as Jordan says, that at the moment it's advantage Wombwell because they do have that. You know, if everyone won the games in hand, it's Wombwell a point above Albury and Wakefield. But it comes down again, as Jordan says, 8th of March, Wakefield at home or Wombwell. That's going to be one that a lot of people are going to have their eyes on. I think even Albury will be watching that one to see what goes on.
I'll be there.
It's going to affect your season as well, isn't it, Jordan? Because you don't want to know either way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a big end to the season.
It's making it interesting, really interesting, all the way down to the wire. So
so we'll go look at the bottom.
Yeah,
Division 1. Yorkshire Amateurs 31, 15 points. Appleby 31, 18. Nostell played 32, 26. Louth 31, 28. Dronfield 32, 29. So looking at it, Appleby and Yorkshire Amateurs, they're 8 points adrift from Nostell, aren't they? But I think it's 3 for relegation Division 1. I think that's right, isn't it? So,
yeah, 3 relegation, yeah. I imagine probably the team that finishes at the top of that relegation may get a reprieve. We've seen in previous seasons that I think Yorkshire Amateurs finished there last year and they managed to be reprieved because of all the changes.
As well, wasn't it? But Swallow Nest in there, wasn't it? Either this season or season before. I think
possibly. Yeah.
So that's the state of affairs in the league. So let's have a look at our team of the week. So we'll start with Jordan. Your team of the week, Jordan.
Oh, I forgot all about team at week. Go to someone else. I'll come back to you.
I'll come back to you then. Bob, who's your team of the week?
Well, there's a few candidates, but I've got to think where Beverley's been playing for Hallam Hallam to beat them 7-0. That's an outstanding display. In any match, they score 7 goals and not concede. So I will give Hallam my team of the week.
Hallam, your team of the week. Good one. Si.
Well, I was 50-50 between Hallam as well, so Bob's taken that. That's fine. I might be stealing Jordan's here if I say Wakefield for beating Brig, but I'll take that one off him and I'll say Wakefield for beating Brig.
Well
I would
done.
never say Wakefield in my team at week, even if they won 24-0.
I'm only pulling your leg, mate.
Adam, before these two have a fight. Adam.
I've gone a bit different. I've gone for Durham District this week. For them, they've been kind of battling for playoffs. We've kind of slipped out of them a bit and been kind of on the fringes of them, especially with, like I say, Wakey and Brig being in such good form. But they had a good 7-1 win against Glassout and then a 3-1 win against a team who were competing with for it, South Leeds, and they've shot themselves right into the playoffs again with games in hand as well.
All right, that's a good one. I'm going to go for Thackley. They've struggled a little bit lately, but they were back on the horse on Tuesday night, beating Barton Town. I was thoroughly impressed with the second half performance. First half performance, it was pretty even, but second half, very, very slick. Anthony Brown up front looked good. So Thackley for me. I think they've been up there all season, and it'd be a shame for them to miss out in the playoffs. So I'm hoping they stay in the playoffs and get a playoff position. So Thackley for me. Jordan, have you got anybody yet?
I have. I was going to go Durham District, but I will choose Swallow Nest.
Swallow Nest.
Swallow Nest, yeah. 3-2 win at the weekend against South Leeds. Obviously, South Leeds are in a bit of a rut at the moment, but they're in and around the playoffs. So that's a good win, especially at their place. And then they've backed it up with a 3-0 win against Club Fawn in midweek. Club Fawn were 9 unbeaten before that fixture. So, two really good wins for Swallow Nest. I think that's probably put them out of the danger zone now. 8 points clear. So, good week for Swallow Nest.
Definitely. So we've got some teams there, all different teams. That's good.
Honourable mention as well for Dronfield, because like I say, we're very close to the bottom 3. We've got 4 points from 6 this week. So
well done, Dronfield.
Team, but...
Yeah. Thanks. Well, we'll give them an honourable mention. That's right. So any games that stand out for us in the Prem then, Bob?
Well, obviously, our game against Frickley.
Wow.
That is a definite 6-pointer. To be honest, with Frickley 12 points in front of us, but we do have a game in hand. With 9 games to go, it's a game that really we need the 3 points at this stage. So we're fingers crossed that we go there, give them a good game and get the 3 points. But Frickley they'll be thinking the same. Obviously, should be a good following from Gould. So it should be a good game. Good game. Yeah.
So that's a good one. Any more in the Prem while we're there?
Rosser versus Thackley. That's a good. That looks a good game.
Yeah.
Silsden, Winterton, top versus obviously joint bottom. Bob, if you get a point on Saturday, I can't really see anything other than a Silsden win. That might see you off the bottom for the first time in. Is that? I don't really know. Months.
A long time. a long time. Yeah. You're right. If we get 19, it would just give everybody a lift as well.
Yeah. Apart from obviously they give a good account of themselves on Monday night against a top team in Albion, didn't they? So your form's been good.
Oh, we played well the night. Albion we were lucky to come away with a. I mean, many early in the season would have caved in, but we didn't. We played well and unlucky to come to a defeat.
Yeah, exactly. So that's Prem. Div 1. What games stick out for us in Div 1 then, gentlemen?
Nostell versus Appleby will be a good one. What an interesting one.
Yeah.
On the bottom.
But they're both down at the bottom, yeah.
Ilkley Brig as well. If Ilkley win that game, Brig have lost 3 against teams around them, and they're looking on the brink of falling out of that playoff spot if games go against them. So it could be a big game for Brig.
That's a big one. Who's Horbury got?
We've got Club Fawn. So things looked you can't really, one game doesn't really affect it, but we looked into it with obviously they were 9 unbeaten before Tuesday, so it was a tough game. It was a goalless draw at their place. They defended very well. So yeah, we're expecting another tough game, but no game's easy in this league. As you say, teams drop points against those at the bottom. Like Si said, that they only picked up a point against Shelley, which is one more than what we did at Shelley. So yeah, should be a good game. Hopefully we can get back to winning ways for the first time in 3 games.
3 games. So and Wakey, who's Wakey got?
We've got South Leeds, as we mentioned. The team we mentioned earlier, who's in a bit of a rut at the moment, but they're actually the last team to beat us. The last team that was back on the 5th of October. So that didn't go our way that day. Obviously they'll want to try and repeat that. And as again, anyone can take points off anyone else. Nothing's taken for granted by anyone. They might be not doing well at the moment, but they'll certainly be trying to take all 3 points on Saturday.
Certainly will.
As will we.
Yeah. And talking of playoffs, because it's all about playoffs at the moment, what's the format for the playoffs? Do you guys know?
Yeah, well,
usually
from experience, second play 5th, third play 4th, second and third get the home tie, and then the highest ranked side get the home tie in the final.
Right. So it's going to be played at one of your grounds then, not a complete,
not neutral. Yeah.
So and that's the same for the Prem as well, because it's going to be interesting, and I would have thought possibly you might get fans from other clubs coming to watch as well. I know when North Ferriby were in the playoffs in the first division a few seasons ago, we went to watch them against Harrogate. Went to watch Brigg against Harrogate. So they're always good games, they're feisty games as well, because there's a lot. There's a lot in it, isn't there?
Try and get to one of them.
Yeah.
I try and get to playoffs at the end of the year. So
yeah. So and then I'll tell you what we want to look at. League Cup. I mean, that's gone quiet all of a sudden, hasn't it, for a while, with all these trying to get all these league games in. So League Cup, I don't quite know who's left in it. I know Beverley are left in it, Albion are in it, aren't they? Is Penistone still there?
Yeah, Albion play Rosso on Monday night, don't they?
Albion versus
that's only the 3rd round as well.
Yeah, they are with that one. Who else left in? Bevtown. I don't know.
Knaresborough Hallam in a couple of weeks. I'm still clicking through fixtures now.
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
Penistone against Handsworth.
That's another good one.
Golka Silsden and Beverley against Albion Sports or Rossington, whoever wins on Monday. I think that's the final 8.
So it's nearly all teams in that top half, really, isn't it? To be honest, there's usually a first division club still knocking around, and of course Parkgate won it last season. I don't know if any of you was at me and Bob were, but if you guys was at the final. Wow, didn't Parkgate play well, Bob?
It was a really good game, really.
Yeah,
deserved winners.
Yeah, I know. We obviously Barton were at Parkgate on Saturday, and they were. I was chatting to some of the people behind the scenes, and they were sort of bemoaning how they can't keep hold of players. Obviously, clubs are coming in for their players and taking the players. So I think they've only got maybe 2 or 3 of that team they had last season actually in this year. So it shows you how it changes, doesn't it? It does change at our level, doesn't it?
That's it for this edition. If you've got any news for the podcast or you'd like to appear on the podcast, please email ncelpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.